Hello everyone, myself Dr. Ikanshi Gupta and I'm working as an assistant professor in Delhi University College. Today in this video, we'll be learning how to clean the data in Excel. Firstly, what is data cleaning? So data cleaning is the process of identifying and fixing any inaccurate or incomplete or irrelevant data in a data set. So this involves removing of duplication, elimination of unnecessary data, ensuring data consistency, converting data types, formatting data clearly, and handling missing values. It also seeks that it makes the data readable and understandable. So let me take you and share my screen. So this is a data sheet which you can see that the data is not clear, it is not readable. Some of the cell sizes are not appropriate. So in order to make them appropriate, we'll be using, or in order to make the data readable and understandable so that it helps in the future decision making, we'll be using these functions in order to clean the data. So these are the simple functions to clean the data. So we'll be using autofit, learning trim, proper, text to columns, remove blanks, conditional formatting, remove duplicates, data validation, replace, sort, and filter functions over here. So firstly, let's select the data. So in order to select the data, click on Control plus A. So when you click on Control plus A, the data which is there in the Excel sheet will be selected. Now go to the tab, that is Home tab. Under Home tab, there's a Format. So click on Format. So under Format, there is an Auto Fit column width. So we do not want we want all the columns to be fitted with respect to the given text inside them. So I click on Auto Fit width of the column and Auto Fit row height. So as soon as I click on the Format button, you would be able to see the entire data which was mentioned in the sheet, right? So you would be able to see the date column, client, department, payment, bank, revenue, and profit column. Now, after this, we'll be learning how to use trim and proper function. So trim function, first of all, let me tell you, trim function returns the values where, or it removes the unnecessary gap or the space between the text. So let's apply this trim function in this particular B column, that is the client column, where you can see the names of the clients. So here you can see the names of the clients have a certain gap, which is excessive gap, right? You can see over here, it's not on the left-hand side. So there is excessive gap. So in order to remove the excessive gap, we'll be using the trim function. So in order to use this trim function, let's first of all add a column so that we can copy this particular function into that particular column. So let me add up a column, and a shortcut key to add up a column is Control Shift plus. So again, I repeat, in order to add up a column, the shortcut key is Control Shift plus. So I'll copy this client and I'll write down the trim function, that is equal to trim bracket the text. So I want this particular text to be trimmed so that it removes the unnecessary gap between the text. bracket close and enter. So now you can see the excess of gap is being removed. If I drag this particular function to the entire column, you would be able to see all the gaps which were there had been removed. Now, similarly, the proper function. The proper function helps us to ensure that if it makes basically it returns the values seeking that if there is a text in the cell, then it ensures that the first letter of the text should be in capital and the following letters should be in smaller letters. So let me apply over here the proper function. PROPER bracket. I want all the trim it as well. And I'll close the bracket over here. So if I enter it up, now you can see Rohit's R was in smaller letter and it converted into the capital letter. Similarly, the Gil, which was the second name, that was the last name. Here, G was smaller letter. Now it converted into the capital letter. Now I'll just copy this particular function to the other cell. And you would be able to see now you are able to read the names. Whereas over here, it was difficulty in reading the names or difficulty in reading the text which was there. So trim and proper functions help us to make sure that it removes the unnecessary gaps between the text and the cell. And secondly, it also seeks that whatever the text is inside the cell, it should start with the capital letter. Now if you can see that B and C column that there are two lines. Okay. So let me delete this particular column. But if I delete the B column, the function applied over here in the C column will also get nullified. So in order to make the particular function available or basically to fix these values, what I'll do is I'll select the data. I'll copy this, that is Control plus C. I'll copy this and I'll go to the paste. And under the paste, I will paste the values. So irrespective of seeking that if I had the function now the function will be removed, but the values which had actually come as an output will remain. So I click on the values and now you can see I'll click on any of the cell. The function is not mentioned here. The function which I applied that was equal to proper bracket trim bracket the text cell. Right now that's not there. The values have been there. Now it's easy for me to delete this particular column. Now coming to the third column, that is the department. So in the third column, you can see that in one cell or in one column, there is too much of text. Okay, so right now we have only two text over here. There might be n number of text. It is difficult to read. So it's better to divide that particular text into the columns. So here we'll be using the particular function that is text to columns. So in order to apply this text to columns, first of all, we'll select or we'll add a blank column to the column where we need to add up the data. So here, again, I'll click on Control Shift Plus. So Control Shift Plus will have a blank column added to my data set. And I want to divide this particular cell's data into two. That is, finance would be the department and Delhi would be the city. Now, I'll again select the particular data in which I need to apply the text to column function. I'll go to the data tab. Under data tab, there is text to columns. So again, the text to columns will split a single column of text into multiple columns. So I click on the text to columns, which says that you need to choose that particular original data and you need to delimit that particular thing. Click on next. So it says, what is the delimiter? Is it a tab, semicolon, comma, space, or anything else? So I want to mention, I've already mentioned over here, it's basically a underscore. So my text, which you can see over here, that is finance underscore Delhi, the text has been divided with respect to the underscore. So I mention it above over here that it is being divided with respect to the underscore. So as soon as I click on this underscore, now the data preview seeks that it has divided my department and the cities. Now I click on OK, next, and finish this up. Now you would be able to see that my city has come to the other column. So this is how we convert or how we use the text to columns. The next function we'll be applying over here in this particular data set is remove blanks. So as I scroll down, you can see that payment mode, bank, revenue, and profit has certain cells which are blank, which are basically error. And in any case, if I apply any sort of a function, statistical function or mathematical function, then my answer would not come because there are errors, there are blanks over here. So in order to fill these blanks, what I'll do is I'll select the data. I'll select the data and I'll go to Home tab. Under Home tab, there's a Find and Select. Over there, I go to Special. Under Go to Special, you can see there are blanks. So under blanks, I click on OK. Right? And if I need to fill these blanks with a specific tab or a common text, then what I'll do is I'll go to the formula bar and I supposingly write NA that is not available and click. I will not click on enter. If I click on enter, then this NA will be given or the text will of NA will appear in only one cell. But if I want all my blank cell to have this NA, what I'll do is I'll press Control and then enter. When I press Control plus enter, then you can see that NA that is not available, that means the data which is not available on this cell will appear in the blank cell. Next is conditional formatting. What is conditional formatting? So conditional formatting is basically highlighting a certain text which has a particular thing. So let me tell you with that. The conditional formatting would be like, first of all, you select the particular text or select the particular data where you want to apply. So supposingly, I want to highlight a data under profit column where I want to see those profits which are greater than 1,000. Okay, so I'll select the data, go to the conditional formatting, highlight cell rules. So as I said, conditional formatting seeks that it highlights the data with a certain condition. So here, as I told you, I need to highlight the profits which are greater than or more than 1,000. So I'll select greater than and I put the value as 1,000. And if I want, I can change the color, not yellow, I would say. Let's keep this only and click on OK. So this is how all the text, all the values which are more than 1,000 will be colored or would be highlighted. Right? So again, if I want to apply this in the revenue column, I'll select the data, go to the conditional formatting. So it also seeks certain rules with greater than, less than, between, equal to, text which contains a specific value, any date which is occurring between a particular day, certain duplicate values, more rules, or certain rules which you want to create it up. So in that case, you can apply, or you want to highlight them, you can use the conditional formatting for that. Now, the next is remove duplicates. So my data might have a certain columns and the complete rows, which are basically a duplication. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll select the entire data set, go to the data tab. Under data tab, under data tools, there is remove duplicates. So I click on remove duplicates and click OK. So it says that there are 3 duplicate values which are found and removed, and 33 unique data remains there. So I click on OK, and the data which seeks that there was a duplicacy, that will be removed. So I'll just show you. This data was being selected up, and 3 rows were basically a duplication and are being removed. Next is data validation. Now, under data validation is basically giving a criteria to a particular data cell. Okay? How it has been used up here is, supposedly I have selected this particular cell, and under data tab only, under data tools, there is a data validation, which basically seeks a certain limit or a criteria to the type of data. So I click on this data validation, and it says what type of validation criteria you want to put. So I want to allow, do you want to allow in this particular cell which has been selected, do you want any value? You want a whole number? You want a decimal number? You want a list in this particular cell? You want a date, time, text length, or you want to customize? So supposingly I want a date, and I want my date should begin from 1st January 2025. The date should be from 1st January 2025 till 1st January 2000, no, till 1st not 1st January, but 23rd January 2025. And I click on OK. Now, supposingly, if I put a date over here as 1st Feb 2025. Now, let me see whether this particular whether this particular cell takes this particular date or not. I'll click on enter. As soon as I click on enter, there is a dialog which says this value doesn't match the data validation restrictions which were defined for the cell. That means whatever the criteria which I have mentioned in that cell doesn't apply to this, doesn't matches with it. So if I repeat again and I change this particular date and I mention it as 12 January 2025, it will take that. Right now, it is in a percentage form. I just need to convert it into a date. Yeah. So data validation is basically seeking or limiting or restricting or defining a particular criteria to the data type. So this is called to be as data validation. Now replace. So supposingly I want to replace my Delhi state with that of Punjab. Okay. I'll select the particular data, go to find and select. Over here, replace, and I need to find out Delhi, and I want to replace it with Punjab. And I click on replace all. So there are 13 replacements to be made. I click on OK. So you would be able to see that Delhi has been converted to Punjab. So this is called to be as replacement. Now sorting and filter. Select the data where you need to apply the sorting and filter. What do you mean by sorting and filter? So filter is basically removing the unnecessary data in from your data set. So any sort of if you do not, if the data is too large and you need to find out uh, how much revenue and how much profit is there in the particular city called to be a Punjab, or in a particular department, if I say, like in how much amount or what I want to see the details which are there, or with respect to finance department. So I need to filter out the other unnecessary information. Okay. So what I'll do is I'll select the particular data, go to the sort and filter, click on filter. So even over here, if I want to have the data of finance department only, so I click on OK. So other cells are hidden over here. Okay, other cells are hidden, and it says that this particular finance department values are in these cells, and they are being shown over here. So this is called filtration, removing the unnecessary data. Now, sorting. Sorting is basically putting the data into an order. So that order could be the increasing, decreasing order, alphabet order, right? So supposingly, I need to change my client data into alphabet order. So I want to sort the names of the client from A to Z. So I click on sort A to Z, and you would be able to see my names are in A to Z. Right? So this was related to cleaning, basic rules or basic functions to be applied with respect to the data cleaning. Thank you, everyone.